So let's start by reviewing what a personal narrative is. Personal means something that's your very own. And narrative is just a fancy way of saying story, has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So a personal narrative is your own story, a true story about your life. So we have a big unit ahead of us. Soon you're going to be middle schoolers, and being an author is serious business. But I'm not worried about you guys because we have some expertise in our classroom. We have people with experience about writing about small moments in their life. And this is my favorite unit because personal narratives get to teach me more about you as a person. I think it's one of the easier units because you don't have to really generate your own ideas. You're just pulling from your own experiences. And I think that I get some of my best pieces during this unit. I know that you're going to be great. So I'm going to expect that each of you as writers are going to be able to fill at least a page with a compelling true story. I know that's really ambitious for some of you to be able to fill up a whole page in a sitting, but you're going to be able to do that. And we are going to need a little bit of help to figure out how can we be good narrative writers. And so we're going to be able to help each other. Today, I want to teach you or remind you that as a writer, you can get help not only from each other, but you also can get help from texts that have been written. So to learn from finished texts, we have a couple of steps. First, we need to study them. Then we need to imagine what strategies did the author probably use and ask, how can I use those same strategies in my writing? So that's our goal today. We're going to study a mentor's text. We're going to see what strategies did this author use and how can I use those own strategies when I'm doing my writing piece. Have you ever seen one of those wedding cakes that are really amazing with lots and lots of layers? And you think to yourself, whoa, how did somebody make this? And you find yourself looking at it closely, kind of examining it. That's what I mean when I say writers study other people's writing. It's the same way you would study a towering cake. You're trying to look for each of the pieces that that author used to make their piece interesting or exciting. So let's look back. We're going to start off by studying a personal narrative that was written by a middle school student. And we're going to see if we can figure out what recipe did this writer use to make it powerful piece. So we're going to look at Allie's piece. And let me see, I think I need to. Here we go. This is from Allie's notebook personal narrative. Oops. I shivered a little bit. It's pretty cold, I said as I dipped my toes into the water. I took a pebble and threw it far into the creek. Well, whatever, I said as I plunged into the cold water. It felt amazing. The cold water covered my eyes like gentle blankets, and the water washed over me like a breeze. Swimming is my favorite. Wait up, yelled Emma as she ran down the hill with her floaty wrapped around her waist. Her curly brown hair whipped around in the breeze. I shivered. I was cold already. A moment after that, India's mom waded in, laughing. Oh, it's cold, she said. Then she stopped. Girls, out of the water. She pushed us back to shore. I looked back and saw a long, thin water snake slithering toward us. I gasped. I quickly swam underwater in big, wide strokes. So this is Allie's piece. It looks like it's just the start of the piece. So how did she hook us in? A lot of us have been using questions to hook each other in, and a question is a great strategy when we're doing a nonfiction teaching piece. But it's not always the best strategy when doing a narrative. So I want you to pay attention to how Allie started her piece. She started by having us use our senses. She used the sense of touch, how we would feel if it was cold. I shivered a bit. So we could feel how her body was feeling in this particular setting. Writers, remember that to learn from a finished writing, first you just read it, which we've done. Then you think, what part worked for me in that piece? What grabbed you as we were reading it? And then think, how did she do that? And then how can I do that? I am studying Allie's writing to learn what we can do to make powerful personal narratives. Let's list what we're learning. So, looking back through here, some things that I noticed that she uses dialogue. So our characters are speaking, she uses those quotation marks. I see a lot of places where she's helping me visualize what's happening by using sensory detail. She uses the word shivered. She describes the water as cold. She uses a simile here, covered my eyes like gentle blankets. She talks about the breeze. She helps me visualize Emma's hair, describing it as curly and brown and it's whipping in the breeze. So she's doing a lot of things to help me picture this setting as if I was really there. And when we get to the part about the snake, she doesn't just say, "Get out, there's a snake in the water." She describes it. It's long, it's thin, it's slithering. So I could picture it and I could see its movement. She focused on one episode and she wrote in detail. She wasn't giving us a long stretch of time, an entire camping trip. She was just focusing on that small action of swimming. And some of the things that she did to help readers picture the episode is to use a small action with exact dialogue, having those characters speak, and using sensory details. So this is our note taking right here. I'm going to do this on the slides for you, but if you would like to record it in your notebook as well, you can pause the video and do that. So how do we write good narratives? These are our first two things that we're learning. Focus on one episode that you can write in detail, something short. And then when you choose your episode, you're going to help your readers picture it using dialogue, using sensory detail, using small actions. Now it's your turn. You're going to log into Google Classroom and you're going to click on the Google Doc that I made for you called Personal Narrative Student Journal. You're going to write your name and the date at the top of each new journal entry because we're going to be using this same document throughout the unit. It'll help me have less papers to go through. It'll also help you to be able to go back and look at your previous pieces and previous notes. This journal is for you. So if you want to add tables or add different specific notes in there, you can do that along with your pieces. Just make sure each new day you write your name and the date at the top of each new entry. That's going to help you and it's going to help me. So for your journal entry today, number 1, remember we had talked that a personal narrative is like a watermelon. The big event is the watermelon slice. That might be the camping trip or a trip to Disney or Christmas Day. The details are the little seeds. The details are your seed moments. So here's an example of what your journal entry might look like today. You're going to write watermelon moments and seed moments. Going to the beach would be a watermelon moment. Building the sandcastle would be a seed moment. That would be a great piece to write just about the building of the castle, not the full day at the beach. Going to the carnival, watermelon slice. Riding the roller coaster, small moment. Recess, watermelon slice. Climbing on the rock wall, the small moment. Birthday party, watermelon slice. Hitting the piñata, small moment. Play date with your friend. Jumping on the trampoline, small moment. Going to school, when Clifford the dog stopped by, small moment. So today in your journal, you're going to have a chart that it's a table and it's going to have watermelon moments and small moments. I would like you to fill that in. That's your only assignment for today. But if after you finish filling in the chart, you'd like to choose one of those small moments and start writing a piece, go for it. I'd love to see it.